Hey cookie creators and lovers alike, I'm Gabby. The smell of turkey and pumpkin pie is in the air. That can only mean one thing. Today on the Cool Cookie Show, we're making some Thanksgiving cookies. For my pumpkin pie slice, I'm going to start by flooding the main surface with a burnt orange. Now we'll let this layer dry for 6 to 12 hours before we pipe in some crust and whipped cream. To finish off my piece of pumpkin pie, I'm going to use a Wilton 44 for my crust and a Wilton 17 for the dab of whipped cream. This piece of pumpkin pie is all done and ready for feasting. For my turkey, I'm going to start with my colorful feathers. I'll be using a burnt orange, yellow, and a dark red. For my piping consistency icing, I'll be using a number 1 Ateco tip. And for my 15-second consistency flooding icing, I'll be using a number 3 Wilton tip. Now before this layer dries, I'm going to take some flooding consistency ivory and a number 1 Wilton tip to create a little bit more detail on the feathers. Now we'll let this layer dry for about 20 minutes to an hour before we go in and add some other feathers. Now we'll let the feathers dry for 20 minutes to an hour before we go in and fill in the head. Before this layer dries, let's go in and drop in some eyeballs. Now we'll let this layer dry for 20 minutes to an hour before we go in and fill in his body. Now we'll let these layers dry for 6 to 12 hours before we go in and finish the rest of the detail. Now let's use an Ateco 101 tip to add some feathers. Now we'll let the beak and the feathers dry for 6 to 12 hours before we go in and complete the last little bit of detail. This turkey's all done and too cute to eat. For my Happy Thanksgiving message cookie, I'm going to start by flooding the base in an ivory color. Now we'll let this layer dry for about 6 to 12 hours before we go in with our lettering and our external detail. Using my projector and a food coloring marker, I've gone along and made the guidelines for my Happy Thanksgiving message. Now all I have to do is pipe over it. For the outside detailing on my Happy Thanksgiving message cookie, I'll be making some vines with a number 1 Ateco tip. I'll add some leaves to those vines using a 65 Wilton tip. I've also got some fall candy leaves and some coordinated candy flowers. This thankful cookie is all done. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of The Cool Cookie Show. If you liked this episode, give it a big thumbs up. Want to be a part of the creativity? Let me know what characters and shapes you'd like to see in the comments below. For more of my cookie creations, check out my channel, tune in every Tuesday, and don't forget to subscribe. Till next time, stay sweet.